Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I asked what we were going to talk about, and what did I hear? Your stage is set. Your stage is set. And I think a lot of what's happening right now is we are finding reasons within ourselves to justify giving up. Are you willing to give up on yourself? Am I hearing this right? Am I reading this right? Are you ready to just throw in the towel and be like, it's not worth it? You know what I mean? I'm going to share some stuff with you guys. Last night I was having a chat with my sister, and we're supposed to be doing the two of us had agreed that we would do a fitness competition together, right? We're going to do it together. And I mean, it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. I don't see it as having been a journey. Everything has kind of just strung together for about 2 years at this point, right? And I've shared with you guys some of my frustration, those moments where I was like, what am I doing? I want to give up. This is stupid. I won't be able to do this. It's frustrating me. All of these different things, right? So I'm having this conversation with my sister last night, and I was asking her about her progress. And she says to me, she's thinking of showing early 2026. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna follow your lead. Because a huge part of me just kind of wants to be like, I ain't got to do all that. I don't need to be on a stage. I just, you know what I mean? I just keep going to the gym, plugging away, plugging away. We don't need to be on no stage, half booty naked and everything. Like, I'm good. And I'm like joking around with her last night. And then I woke up this morning with kind of like I don't know if it's a different mindset, but it's definitely a different energy that happened. And so when that energy happened, as I'm starting my day, um, I went ahead and I posted a rare fitness video of myself on my Instagram, right? And it's this thing of, if you know me, you know that I don't really like to post stuff like that. I don't. So this is the caption. Never have I ever been so dedicated to making something happen intentionally in my life as I have with this. And this can apply to anything that you're doing, right? Excuse me. The amount of times I asked myself why, not having an answer, yet still showing up and pushing to make sure I do what I set out to do. Am I anywhere near where I need and want to be? No. No, I'm not. So I'll keep showing up until I am, right? I'll keep showing up until I am strong in my mind, strong in my body. I still have more I can do to show myself what I can actually make happen if I show up for me. Your stage is set. Your stage is set. What stage is that? What are you going to present? I don't know. What do you have your heart set on? So, my main frustration for the last 2 years, my hamstrings won't grow. They just won't grow. I'm so frustrated with them. I'm just so frustrated, right? And it's kind of like that was the thing, was that one thing after another thing being used as reasoning as to why I can't do this, why I can't do that, why I shouldn't. And, the past several days have been really intense with not even caring if a stage is set, not even caring if so much work has already gone into something, kind of just like allowing myself to have that moment where I can be childish with myself. I can have my little tantrum. And I have been having my little tantrums quietly in my head. And while I have my tantrums quietly in my head, I'm over here doing this. And if some of y'all are like, well, I mean, that's not anything. Give me a second. It's only 40 pounds, but I'm supposed to have degenerated disc disease in my lower lumbar. I shouldn't be able to do this. And this is at the end of my workout. I've already lifted about 40,000 pounds. It's the end of my workout. And I was like, okay, I asked someone at the gym to record that for me. And I'm like, wasn't that good. It wasn't that good because I was exhausted and I was overcompensating and I wasn't doing the most perfect form, the consummate perfectionist, right? Just so heavily bent on perfectionism. And it still didn't click in my head. It still didn't click for me. So a few minutes, about 20 minutes before the person I was going to train was going to show up. And I was pretty much done with my workout, but I was like, you know what? You know what? No, fuck that. I was like, no, fuck that. Because I need to prove to myself that my core is strong. I need to. Because at your core, if you are strong, you get through anything and everything, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally. And so I said, fuck that. Let's do this, girl. Let's do this. So I added another exercise, just a little something quick, right? A little something quick. And I'm over here. If you could do this, girl, I'll get off your ass. Do it. So I did it, right? I needed to show myself, like, girl, you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Don't listen to that dysmorphia that's starting to happen. Yeah, I'm hella fluffy right now. I gained about 20 pounds. I'm hella fluffy. That's okay, girl. You keep showing up. You keep showing up. Prove to yourself that whatever stage you're going to get on, whether it's a fitness stage, whether it's a speaking stage, whether it's just a stage of life, you're fucking strong enough to handle it. Right? I didn't even think twice. I was just like, here, we just documenting shit, whatever. So then my client comes, I'm starting to train them, and they needed to take a short break to go use the restroom. And so I start looking at that video to critique myself. Because again, heaven forbid I lay off my perfectionism when it comes to me. I've learned to stop doing that to other people. But again, when it comes to me, heaven fucking forbid that I give myself the due credit that I've earned, rightfully earned. Here's the thing. The stage may be set, but if you don't understand the ways in which you've grown silently without your awareness, just by showing up, you won't have the proper perspective. You won't have the clarity. You won't understand what it is you've accomplished and how fucking hard it is to accomplish that, but you did it anyways. Right? So the thing that was hard for me, the point that keeps me up at night, like, you're fucking failing, my hamstrings. My hamstrings, they won't grow. I've grown a booty, I've grown my quads, I've grown my shoulder, I've grown fucking everything. But the hamstrings, that was the last thing. That was the thing that was like, bitch, you're not gonna win shit if you don't grow those bitches. Well, again, my client needed a break, so I go and look over the video that I was gonna use to fucking berate myself again. Silently, of course. Secretly and silently. I go and see that video and plaid dow. Plaid dow. Juicy ass hamstrings. Girl. Hell yes. Hell yes. The juicy hamstring action that's now happening, which I didn't even realize until I took a moment to really see what's happening. This is me getting on the bench to start doing ab work. I'm not even trying to flex my hamstrings. And then the realization hit. You never really know that you're growing until after the fact, until after the growth has occurred silently without your awareness. You don't know what's happening. You're too busy with this perspective of how it should happen, how quickly, the details of it, all of that. You're so hell bent on that, right? You can be hell bent on that. That's fine. That's if that's who you are, if that's how you progress through your process, that's fine. You keep doing whatever it is you're doing, but don't stop showing up. Don't stop showing up. So long as you continue to show up, things will happen without your awareness. And then after the fact, after you've done without knowing what you set out to do, after, then you'll be able to see what you actually are capable of. So now I'm like, okay. Okay. So is that stuff's actually happening? It's actually happening. So now I'm like, okay, do I wait until 2026? Do I change my plans? Because when I was talking to my sister last night, we're supposed to try and do figure competition together. Those are like the bodybuilder girls, not all the way bodybuilding. You still have feminine shape, but it's very muscular, right? And it has to be uniform. There has to be balance between your upper and lower. Um, that was the goal figure. And then I wanted to challenge myself. So I was like, maybe wellness, because wellness, those ladies have ham fucking hocks. So they all leg and booty. I don't, that's the opposite of where I hold everything, right? That's the opposite. So I was like, maybe I'll challenge myself. But then last night when I was speaking to my sister, because again, I'm not aware of the ways in which I'm progressing, just like most of you are unaware in the ways in which you're progressing. I was like, sis, bikini's sounding pretty good right now. I think we can do some stuff in bikini because, hey, not to knock the bikini ladies, that still takes a ton of dedication, a ton of discipline, showing up for yourself, right? That's still tremendous effort. I was like, I think we could do big things in bikini. I think I could compete in bikini right now. I just let myself lean out, even with the loss of muscle factored in as part of leaning out. I think I could do something in bikini. I don't know if I can win, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. No. And you're probably like, what? What do you mean no? No. Now is the point where we need to decide, are we doubling down on what we've decided we want to do? Because now I'm doubling down. I've been half-assing it for quite a few months at this point. Now I'm actually doubling down. If the stage is set, I will be ready when I step on it, no matter what the stage is intended to do. Because that's how I've approached everything in my life. This is no different. This is no different. So let me bring up what I showed you guys at first. All right, let me bring this back up because maybe you need to say this to yourself every day. Maybe you need to screenshot this and say it to yourself every single day. Never have I ever been so dedicated to making something happen intentionally in my life as I have with this. And whatever this is for you, that's what this is. The amount of times I asked myself why, not having an answer, yet still showing up and pushing to make sure I do what I set out to do. Am I anywhere near where I need and want to be? No. So I'll keep showing up until I am. Strong in my mind, strong in my body. I still have more I can do to show myself what I can actually make happen if I show up for me. You are more than willing to show up for everyone else. When was the last time you showed up for you? For many empaths, we have this very skewed perception of if we show up for everyone else, then it will convince everyone we've showed up for to show up for us when we need it. Yet you're so good at hiding when you actually need it. And when people do offer, you refuse the help. And then you're left feeling as though you have no one. No one has your back. No one has your side. Do you have no one, or did you not allow anyone? The stage is set. Maybe the meaning of that is that the stage is set for your success. The stage is set for you to allow yourself to receive the help, receive the abundance, receive the opportunities, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Debbie asks, what would it take to change that? Being at the cusp of failure. I think for most of us, that's the answer. Being at the cusp of failure. So when you're at the cusp, you're right there at the edge. And when you're right there at the edge, if you don't want to fall over, then you need to do something to prevent yourself from falling over. You need to pull yourself back. You need to pull yourself away from that edge of falling into a sense, into a perception of failure. Sometimes you need to experience failure itself, to be honest. There's no better way to understand the safety of land than when you are at the ocean's edge about to drown. That's what Michael just said. And you fight with your entire being to get back to where you belong, back on that land, right? So you wonder why you experience hardship. You wonder why you experience the opposite of what you want. Maybe it's to cause you to feel so inspired or frustrated, however you want to choose to see it. Maybe it's to get you to see just how much you want the very thing that you no longer have, the very thing you almost had, but you convinced yourself you didn't deserve it. I deserve to know myself in the way I choose to know myself. And if the way I choose to know myself is as a muscle mommy, you call me mama. Because that's what I'm going to know myself as. Why are you willing to work on everything but what matters the most to you? Because it's selfish? I learned years ago, trying to make it a goal to be selfless because of this fear that other people will see you as selfish. Selfless, less of who you are, less of a person, right? It didn't do anything. It didn't make people who disliked me suddenly see me as a good person. It didn't do anything. What is it that you're trying to achieve? To be liked by everyone? Because if that's your goal, you will fail. I promise you, you will fail. There's no way that everyone will like you. There's just no way. No way at all. No way that everyone will like you all the time. There will always be people who dislike you. For what? For what reason? Why? But don't matter. They're going to feel whatever it is that they're going to feel. You can't control that. Is it because you can't control how other people will receive you that you're afraid of whatever stage that's been set for you? Is that what it is? You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of the ramifications of your success. And what if it's always been part of your destiny to succeed in ways you didn't think you could? To be witnessed by people you didn't even know existed? I'd say find the courage. And as you're doing that, what needs to happen is you need to keep your process quietly to yourself. Why? Because there are those who would love to know that you're in a process. And if they know that you're slightly, even slightly, mildly destabilized in that process, boy, oh boy, they would salivate to see you fail. Who cares about them? Those are whack ass people. Keep your process secret for now. Okay. Allow yourself to go through whatever process, internally, externally, whatever it is. Allow yourself to go through it for a little bit, get yourself situated in there. And then maybe once you actually place in ground the very seeds of success that you are already germinating, once you place that in ground, maybe then the people you trust, you can begin sharing some of that, right? Share some of it only with the people you trust. And then maybe after everything is situated in the way that it needs to be situated, and you feel it's appropriate, then you can maybe start sharing it with people outside of your innermost circle. No matter what, do not allow yourself to be prevented from manifesting the very thing you are now in the process of manifesting. The stage is set. The stage is set. Now, there have been some things that have been happening, right? This autumn, because I think we're still in autumn, to be honest. I don't think we've entered into winter yet. But this autumn has kind of been upside down for most of us. We've been in a weird space within ourselves. Maybe we've also been in a weird space within our environment, and we're feeling very vulnerable, very exposed, left unprotected. um you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Do we need to be angry? Do we need to be bitter? Do we need to do anything outside of working on the things that need to be worked on? No, because all these hardships, all these frustrations, setbacks, misunderstandings, and whatever else you're experiencing, they're just to test your dedication to the process that you actually are in. It's to test your dedication. So, using my fitness journey as another example, right? Um, I'm aware to some degree of how the body functions. I'm aware of how to encourage hypertrophy. I'm aware of macros. I'm aware of all the things that I need to be aware of to a sufficient degree. Now, this autumn has been frustrating because, well, despite having all that knowledge, I didn't do the things that I needed to do. I did still keep showing up, but the other factors, I just kind of sabotaged my own progression. At least that's how I saw it. If you see a process that can actually serve you while in your process as nothing but a negative, then that's what it will stay, a negative. So, how do we turn this around? Do we lie to ourselves? Do we tell ourselves that this thing that we've identified as a negative is suddenly somehow a positive thing and we should be happy about it? 20 pounds is a lot of weight for someone my height. That's a lot of fucking weight for someone my height. How do I turn this around? I have other awareness. My sibling is a master body worker. He's literally a fucking genius in his field. Do I go to him? No, he already gave me quite a bit of information. So, 20 pounds of fat. Do I need to focus on the fact that I got fat? No. I need to focus on the fact that my body is pre-programmed. It's got fuel. 20 fucking pounds of fuel. So, what do I mean by this? Well, there are devices that will go ahead and burst that adipose tissue. It'll make the fat cell burst using sound waves. I have that device. I use it for my lymphatic system. It's intended for fat, but I use the sound waves for my lymphatic system. How about this? How about I go ahead and do what I was instructed to do and use that machine to go ahead and pre-fuel my body? Get my diet back on track, not restrict, just get back on track. And then use that machine to burst the fat cells, releasing that stored energy. My body got hella fuel. I didn't fail. I set myself up in a way that I didn't recognize at the time. It wasn't intentional, but I set myself up to fucking succeed in ways that weren't intentional. Everything happens exactly as it should. Everything happens exactly as it should. I don't need to be angry about those things that I did, low key sabotaging myself, because what can be low key sabotage can also be high key priming. It's like some pre-game type stuff, right? You need to begin seeing your journey clearly. You won't see it clearly until you allow yourself to sit still. Be still, take some time out, take some time out. Be still. I don't know that you guys would find it on TikTok. It's Yeah, I don't know. You find it on TikTok. I mean, you might. I don't know. You gotta be careful. You can burn your skin. You fuck yourself up real good. You can. This not I wouldn't recommend. I'm not trying to gatekeep. This is something you have to know what you're doing in order to use it appropriately because you can and will absolutely mess up your whole body. You'll mess up your physique, your aesthetic, all of that. So, if you allow yourself to recognize you are in a process, the stage is already being set for you, and all you have to do is show up for yourself so that you can have an understanding of what this stage is intended to showcase about you, well, then you can start that new chapter. That stage is to start your next chapter. You have choices that you need to make. You have choices that you need to make. And what really needs to happen is you need to allow yourself to get to a point where you recognize what direction you want to go in while remaining open and flexible to the ways in which your soul will redirect you, will nudge you this way or that. Because sometimes the things that you want the most are actually not in alignment with what you actually need and where you're headed. It's not. It's not in alignment, right? It's not. You have to allow yourself to really ripen and blossom, really allow this process to occur. You can't control all of the factors. Once that stage is set, all you can control is what you do on that stage. Once you're on there, I mean, a silly reminder. I just remembered, Chris Brown, he had a performance. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. I think it was over the summer or something. He had a performance and they were lowering him from the ceiling, and so he was on, wires, cables, and something happened. It was some type of malfunction in the pulley system or whatever the heck you call it, and he was stuck in midair, like stuck in midair. And the performance had already started, and he still gotta sing. He still has to sing, and he's looking at his staff, like, making faces while he's singing and trying to perform. Eventually he was up there for a bit, though. Eventually, someone grabbed the tallest ladder that they had, and they were able to kind of have him climb down the ladder and, unhook himself, climb down the ladder, and then the performance continued. But it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you going to just, um I don't know. He kept right on. He kept right on with his performance, and I'm thinking about this one gal, I don't know exactly where she was at, it was some type of presidential whatever debate, or I don't know what it was, but this gal was brought on live TV to sing the national anthem. This was recent, right? This is recent. She hit the wrong note, which, I mean, give yourself some grace, girlfriend. Give yourself some grace. She hit the wrong note, and instead of just continuing, she's like, "Can we start over?" And then the person says to her, we can't. We're on live TV." I was just like, oh damn, oh damn. So that was broadcast. Poor thing is probably embarrassed. What you do on that stage is completely up to you. It's completely up to you. Balance yourself. Put yourself in that space of center. Okay? Create balance within yourself. Create balance within that expectation and the reality of what's happening. Because those are two separate things. Those are two separate things, right? So if you create balance between your expectation and the reality, what happens? You still have some leeway, right? You're able to remain flexible in that experience while you're on that stage. I know she did have a really good voice. She had a good voice, and I felt bad for her because it was just like, girl, why are you gonna say all that? Just keep singing. Keep singing. Oh my gosh. I understand though. She was probably extremely nervous, right? Probably extremely nervous. Um, how are you going to handle your nervousness about what you're going to accomplish? How will you handle the nervousness? What will you do? Will you allow yourself to shut down? If you do that, you're going to totally mess up your momentum. You're going to have to start all over. Or are you gonna kinda just try and push through, just keep showing up, and then hope that you're not in that weird space for too long? So I wanted to give up completely, just stop working out and just, like, whatever. It's like, "I got shit I gotta do. I'm so fucking busy all the time." Like, whatever, just stop working out. But I was like, "No, that's gonna suck." 'Cause the things that I have already grown, I've already experienced hypertrophy. I completely changed my physique at this point. If I stop that, then I'm gonna have to start all over again. My body will eat through that muscle real fast. It will. That'll be like 8, 10 months worth of hypertrophy that I have to redo. It's gonna take me another year and a half to redo that. So I was like, "Just keep showing up until you figure your shit out, girl. You're irritating me." I was irritating myself. You just keep showing up, and then eventually you'll have this. I don't know if it's intense enough to be an epiphany, but you'll suddenly have this aha, oh, clarity, and you're going to understand your self-worth, that you are worth this investment in yourself, the investment of time, energy, focus. For some, it's even an investment, financial investment in yourself. You're worth it. Keep showing up. You're worth it. Give yourself time to remember that you are, in fact, limitless, that you, in fact, do deserve this, that you are capable of making whatever this is happen for you. The stage is already set. All the most difficult parts that needed to happen, they've already happened. They've already happened. So, an example. Um, so I think something like the um, average wedding. I don't know. I got married at City Hall, so I don't know. I think the average wedding is something like $40,000 or $50,000. Let me look this up. Average cost of wedding 2024. $33,000. That's the average. 33,000. That's fucking ridiculous. And then it gives a breakdown. Oh my fucking, are y'all joking me right now? 500 or more guests will average about $54,500. 150 to 200 guests will average about $41,286. 50 to 75 guests will average about $20,581. fewer than 10 guests will average about $11,667. I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna vomit. Oh my god. Wow. Um, so you spend that, right? I don't even I don't know that I even have 10 people to invite. Holy shit. Hot diggity damn, y'all. That's hella money. Okay, anyways, not shaming anyone. So let's say like you have 100 people that you're going to invite. I think that's a reasonable number for most people who are not antisocial. I'm antisocial, so I don't have 100 people to invite. So you're going to be spending roughly around $27,000, right? Roughly. You spent the $27,000. Everything is already paid. It is the morning of. You have your makeup on, right? Y'all, if you don't know, I used to be a makeup artist and I would sometimes do weddings. For the bride alone, I would charge $500. You do the entire entourage, with brides often want to. That's an easy like 2 grand for makeup alone. Okay. So you have your $500 makeup on. If you want me to do additional hair, that's an additional $200. If you want um me to install any type of tracks, sew in whatever it is, that's another several $100s, right? And these were prices from early 2000. So you done just for your, I don't even fucking include your dress, right? So just your face and your hair alone, it's almost $1,000 at that point. You have all of this on. You have that expensive dress. You have all these amazing people that you love. They've shown up for you. The travel cost for that, right? All the decorations, the thousands of dollars on flowers. I mean, and then maybe 30 minutes before your actual ceremony, you're like, I mean, I just don't know that we're that compatible. I'm sorry, what? I mean, I'm sure we could make it at least like 5 years as a married couple, but I don't think we make it further than that. I don't want to. That's the equivalent. Giving up on yourself at the last hour. You already spent all that energy, that time, that focus. You will never get that back, just like you will never get the deposit back just because. And there's no issue, right? There was no fight. There was no like sudden awareness of infidelity. There's no like love child that exists somewhere that you weren't aware of. They didn't lie to you about having some type of venereal disease that's incurable, and you know what I mean? Like there's nothing. There's no reason. There's no reason outside of, well, it's maybe it's not going to work. I don't know. I would etch a sketch reset you. Ever so gently just grip your shoulders and shake the shit out of you. Just shake the shit out of you to erase that story that you have in your head that's sabotaging your actual progression. I mean, it's a whole different thing if you've had doubts the whole wedding planning, and now you just know like you should not marry this person. That's a whole different scenario. I'm talking about there's no reason. It's just your fear holding you back. It's this story that you've told yourself of how this is not going to work anyway, so might as well just, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I think what we need to do is recognize stages are set for a reason. Even if you look at the people who they do want to get married, but then they receive some like crazy ass revelation the day of the wedding, right? Right before they walk down the aisle. Even if that's the scenario where like suddenly they find out that their soon to be spouse has in fact had quite a few other extracurricular activities. It's this thing of like, maybe that happened. That stage was set the way it was because you've enabled them for so long and turn a blind eye to all of this stuff that's been disrespectful to your existence for so long that now everyone that matters to you who's present at the wedding needs to see the reality of what you've been silently and secretly allowing. And that way, um, you can actually move forward because now everyone who you would have never told, now they know and they're going to support you and keep that yucky person away from you. All the stages that you will find yourself on, they're helping to bring to fruition the next part of your life. So maybe you step on a small stage. Maybe you're a singer and you step on a small stage at a very small, like, bar, and you sing there one night, or maybe you sing there several nights. And most people be like, well, that's not a big deal because I mean, it's just a little coffee shop. It's just a little bar. You know that singer Jewel? She sang what did she say? Do you guys remember Jewel? She's an amazing singer. Just an absolutely angelic voice and extremely talented. I was watching a video of her story months back, and that was her story. She was, I think, homeless, and she was singing at a bar or like a coffee house or something like that. And she would often sing there, and she began to develop like a cult following because her talent is just so beautiful. And then what happened? Record execs heard about her, and quite a few of them came to woo her. And I believe she refused to sign with them. Why? Well, because that small stage was the precursor for the larger stages that she would find herself on. It was the precursor for something. There are cycles that you continue to go through, cycle after cycle after cycle, right? And these cycles are preparing you for the main thing. Right. See, John, who will save your soul? Who will save your soul? I don't remember the rest of the words. Okay. On the surface, you think you know what's happening, but in reality, I think you might be completely unaware, completely unaware of what's happening beneath the surface. There's shifting of energy right now. Like my whole brain and eyeballs and face are shifting. I don't know if you saw me rocking for a second there. There is something massive shifting. Hmm. I feel a presence. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad presence. It's almost like It's almost like something or someone that you have some depth of connectivity with. Um, there's a magnetism that's been turned on, kind of like being drawn, you know? I don't know if you're calling them in or they're calling you in, but it's drawing the two of you closer together. And it's not necessarily romantic. It can definitely be something where it can be something where you're supposed to achieve something together, build something together. Um, again, I don't know that it's necessarily intended to be romantic. Maybe for some of you it might be, but it's not this overwhelming sense of romance. I think you need to listen. Listen for the clues from your soul. This is someone who's out in the wilderness. I don't know what that means. They're out in the wilderness. Um, I don't know. It's almost like they're anchoring something. It's like a beautiful energy. It's a very beautiful energy. It's like they're anchoring something and they're taking cues from you. It's like you're setting the pace. Again, I don't know that it's romantic, but there's definitely a connectivity. Oh, well, connection. Yes. There's a connection between you and this other person. I think you already know this other person. I think this is someone that, oops, sorry guys, there's a mother freaking bug. Um, I think you already know this person. I want to say this is a person that you have some degree of history with. Hi, Kay. You have some degree of history with them. I don't know that it's a romantic history. It's someone you know. That's the sense that I keep being given. And this is someone who is a very consistent individual. So, okay, I'm sensing integrity. I'm sensing consistency. I'm sensing compatibility. I am sensing um, kind of like a pushing forward of something that your soul wants you to accomplish. Um, I don't know. Maybe you're hesitant to allow this person, maybe you're hesitant. I don't feel like this is someone like all the other people you've come across before. I think this is a person and a connection that can add to the stage that has been set for you. I think this is definitely, I think it's worth exploring. Hold on. Let me pull a couple of these cards. No, I don't, what? Hold on. Hold on. I think the draw, oh, see what I'm saying? Repair, making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. Three is a number of a solid foundation from which to converge. 3 plus 8 is 11. It's the awareness that the first steps of your journey are about to take place. So there. It's a patchwork thing, right? Let's see. So I'm going to pull 5 cards from here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know what the cards are. I'm pulling them face down. Let's see what your soul wants you to know. Confusion, growth hurts, heals, and harnesses a way through the uncertainty. So either you're in this space of confusion, maybe you've just crawled out of the ocean where you felt like you were going to drown and lose everything, lose yourself. You've crawled out, and many of us have been through so much in the past several months. So it might be you, it might be them. Um, maybe what you represent is the potentiality of helping them to kind of sew their life, sew their pieces back together. And maybe that's what you represent. You represent the potentiality of peace and healing for them. And maybe that's why they're drawn to you right now. I don't know. I don't feel like you're obligated to do anything. I feel like all of this information is really just to help you gain an awareness as to what this could possibly be about for you so that you don't feel freaked out. Circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. See what I'm saying? I think someone is experiencing a storm within their life and um I think they're looking to you for some clarity. I don't think they're asking it out loud. I think they're wanting to be in your proximity, maybe casual conversation, maybe casual connection, because again, you are someone that they hold in a very high regard. They have tremendous respect for you. I feel like this might be someone who's already accomplished quite a bit for themselves as well. And even with that, they hold you in a very high position. So, okay. Strength of vulnerability. True power lies at the root of perceived weakness. So it's in reverse. I don't know, something about you makes them feel kind of shy. Um, they don't quite know how to tell you some of the things that are happening. And maybe they're afraid to ask you for your opinion on whatever it is they're going through. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think number 43 inner life is a garden. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. I think this is how they see you. Maybe they're a gardener. I don't know. They see you as an elder soul, very magical, very cosmic, very celestial. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. I think whatever this is going to be mutually beneficial because, again, I don't sense that they're toxic. I wonder though, I think they might be going through something. I think they might be going through something in their life. And it's almost like they're reaching out to you in hopes that, you can kind of just being in your presence will help them to stabilize. Hmm. Maybe, I'm not sure. Radical honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self defeat, and self denial. It's in reverse. So it's kind of this thing of like, they've been through some stuff, or you've been through some stuff. And maybe the two of you are drawn to each other at this point because you both know, or whoever needs the other more knows that the stronger one can provide a clarity that no one else can give them. I think for whatever this is, um, the stage has been set for this to be mutually beneficial. The stage is set for this to be mutually beneficial. I believe this message is also for you, Emmy. I already had an old friend reach out. So I see aspects of this. I don't believe they're in any type of negative at all. I think their life's going beautifully. Um, and I think their presence is very encouraging for me personally. Yeah. So I could see how this could be for me too. Um, yeah, and that old friend is definitely non-toxic. As far as I know, they're non-toxic. Never had any toxic anything. A beautiful resonance is all I've ever experienced with that specific individual. Very beautiful resonance, extremely intelligent. And I had already shared with them that um, I believe there's um, a project that I would need their assistance on because their field of expertise is one that is very much needed. And in addition, their integrity is amazing. It's amazing. I've always resonated with their degree of integrity. Yeah. Um, I think whatever this is that's happening for all of you, it's definitely something that you need to approach with some degree of caution. Um, and you won't need to be as cautious if you've already developed your discernment. But if you're not developing your discernment and you just going strictly by feel, I don't know how that's going to end. You have to be careful. Okay. You don't have to be afraid, but you have to be careful. You have to approach things with some degree of awareness of the different potentialities, both positive and negative. You have to be aware. Okay. So let me hold on. Let me just ask if the notary, excuse me. Um let's see. All right. Um what card shall I pull? Oh, let's do some Kuan. Kiki, do you love me? She loves everybody. Of course she do. Kiki loves everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and pull two cards. So go ahead and put one or two. We'll make this into a little mini reading. All right. Mini reading. A link to clairvoyant reading. I don't know. I don't know, Kay. You mean for a new session? Um, facing cosmic decision between abundance and hold on. And total destruction. Oh man, I don't know. What are you guys gonna pick? Abundance or total destruction? So let me get two cards. That was odd. I think that's like predictive programming. You're not gonna use me for that. I think you can have both abundance um and complete destruction. Sometimes the complete destruction, depending on your circumstance, is the very thing that leads to the abundance. It's not either or. They're not um they're not something that's completely removed from each other. So, we're going to do card number 1. Well, we're going to do number 1. Those who chose number 1, you guys got card 9. Okay. I'll be going live today. I totally forgot about that. I'll be going live today. Hold on. Yo, why am I like this? My brain. I was supposed to do this before I even came on the live stream, but no. No. Been dealing with a lot of nuts lately. Probably because the nuts think that since I have a squirrel brain, I'll be drawn to them. No, I will not. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, thank you. Okay, let's see. Oopsie. I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry. What's the date today? The 13th, the 14th? The 14th. Okay. I'll go on a little bit later because I didn't eat yet. And you know how it is, 'cause, I gotta eat or else I'm a grumpy ass mofo. Which, I've been just grumpy for quite a few days already. So I don't know that eating is even gonna help. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, 14. Okay. There we go. What it is, yo. What's up? There. Let's put this on the screen. Um, there you go. I'll be live later today at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If y'all want to join me, click on that link or the QR code on the screen, and it will take you exactly where you need to go. All right. Oh, also, hot diggity dog. On Saturday is a morphogenetic fundamentals workshop. With this, I think there are still seats left. I would highly encourage those who want to go. Oh my lord. I would highly encourage those who want to go to consider the enhanced ticket option because you always want to do the enhanced. I do all kind of different activations for all those people who are in the enhanced. If your budget's limited and you just want to learn the basics, then do the regular ticket. I teach a lot of stuff. It's very information dense, and you don't need prior experience to take this class. As a matter of fact, what I teach often contradicts all the stuff that you think you've learned. Yeah. All right. So those who chose one, card number 9, 8 immortals. Oh, girlfriend. What is this going to be about? The messages you've been receiving that are unconditionally loving, fearless, and encouraging of you to grow and be your true self are from your higher guidance. The 8 immortals of other beings of divine light and divine love are guiding you. It's safe to follow these messages now. Doing so will bring you greater joy. Sometimes you may question whether you are in contact with genuine spiritual guidance or engaging in wishful thinking. Genuine guidance is simple, clear, and repetitive. When you ask for confirmation, it will come. The more open you are, the more quickly the confirmation can reach you in the form of signs, conversations, and serendipitous happenings. In fact, confirmation and guidance can be instantaneous and from multiple unconnected sources. Like the universe is playing a joyful, loving game with you. The guidance will be uplifting and helpful. Sometimes it will ask you to take a step that feels challenging, and yet, true guidance always proves itself in that it only asks of you what is right and just for your highest good. It always serves the highest good of all involved in any situation, no matter what our fears might be. It is good to be careful and discerning about the quality of guidance that you are seeking, but it is usually an easy task to identify when guidance is not of a higher vibrational variety. It will be judging of you, of others. It will not feel right, even if genuine guidance feels like it is asking you to do something unexpected or something that feels like a real stretch for you. It will still feel right in your own heart to do so. So you might have this thing of like being hesitant, but it's what you need. It's what what you will benefit the most from. Genuine guidance, even when challenging, brings a sense of rightness and peace into your heart, whereas lower vibrational guidance or thoughts or wishful thinking doesn't bring you into deeper peace. It simply confuses and confirms judgment. It isn't nearly as helpful. Sift through your thoughts and feelings to come to the genuine guidance and true spiritual knowing within you now. You can call upon the 8 immortals and any being that loves you unconditionally and trusts that you will receive quality guidance. The process will help you to be still and connect with it through your own heart, which contains great wisdom and peace to guide you. You need to connect with yourself. You need to make sure that you allow the messages from your soul to come through. Don't listen to other people. People will think like they know you. They will think that they know your situation. They will think they know you better than you know yourself. They will convince themselves that you're lying to yourself about something and that they know you better. These people are full of fucking shit. I'm saying, let me just sip some water. Mm-hmm. um, Michael's reminding me years ago, there was a person. There was a person who convinced themselves that I'm actually a closeted lesbian, which I have no problem with other people's choice of sexual orientation. That's your choice. But this individual, it's a very specific individual, convinced themselves that I'm a closeted lesbian and that I'm actually not happy in my 25-year marriage and that I'm very unhappy with my children who I adore. Awkward. I'm pretty sure I know whether I prefer penis or not. I'm pretty sure I know. And I'm pretty sure I know whose penis I prefer. Yeah, that's awkward. They convince themselves of an entire storyline that we are, in fact, twin flames. And that I'm just afraid and I'm denying them because I'm afraid. No, I'm not afraid. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. If you listen to people who are so convinced in their delusion, does that benefit you? Does that benefit you? Will that help you? Will that help you? See, I'm a good reader of people. This is what I do for work. I read people. I don't just do readings. Like, I read your energy. I read the intention. I read what is, turned into pathology and all of these things. And I knew the moment I read that question, because they had requested ClairTarot reading. And it was this whole situation, like their friend, she's married, but she's unhappy in her marriage. And, she doesn't know how to tell her friend. Good thing we're not friends. We're not friends. I knew the question was a loaded question and it was directed at me. If I'm not certain within myself, things like that, people who are so convinced of whatever Delulu story they're telling themselves, that does not even resonate with me. If you're not solid within yourself, you'll start to question if maybe they're right. If someone has to convince you of something, I promise you, maybe they're the last person you need to listen to. You know how many people have tried to convince me I'm their twin flame? Yeah, I had another person. This other person was so convinced that I was their twin flame, 2,000 something emails, criminal case, civil case later. They were so convinced. It's just crazy shit that people are on sometimes. That spiritual psychosis It's some really crazy shit. It is. So what you need to do, this stage is already set for you. If you're going to allow questionable people onto your stage, you're going to have some questionable experiences. And I promise you, the questionable people who want to force their way in, these are people who are going to be very pissed off that their access to you has been cut. One individual was so pissed off that their access to me was cut. They went ahead on a rampage of, I would say maybe about a year of threatening to unalive me, my family, viewers, all kind of shit, crazy shit, crazy shit. Like the ways they would do it, trying to geolocate me, trying to this, trying to. No, you're not allowed on my stage. You're not even allowed in the venue. Fuck that shit. Listen to yourself. Allow yourself to be your compass and your home. Be so at home within yourself and your existence that people can't use magnets to try and shift the direction of your true north. Every single person that I've come across that's actually a twin, I've identified them myself. And we don't have these discussions of how you're my twin. We're supposed to be besties. And no, it's just like it's an awareness. Like, oh, resonance. I feel it deep in my core. So lovely. No wonder I think you're a lovely person. I'm recognizing in you the loveliness that I'm afraid to acknowledge within myself. Thank you for being a living mirror to reflect back to me the actuality of the person that I am. No, it's not a romantic thing at all. At all. So, for those who chose number 2, you guys got card 36. People just be fucking weird sometimes, I'm telling you. Card number 36, right? So, 2. Here goes. What did I just do? There you go. 2. Card number 36, the dance unveiling. Oh, that's why I went off about that topic. I didn't really go off, but I spoke in detail. There's a situation in your life that is about to reveal itself to you with greater clarity. For those who chose to, be careful of these fake ass people. There's a potentiality, it's just a potential, that there is someone who is going to try and sell you a story or someone who already has sold you a story. Use discernment. Okay. Don't be so quick to agree or disagree. Use discernment. Pause. Allow yourself to consider. Just like sand shifting, the picture will seem clearer and quite different to how it once appeared to you. I think for those who chose number 2, this might be someone who's already had access to you. The clarity will bring you great relief and confirmation of your intuition. Be patient and allow the revelation to come to you at the perfect time. So, first and foremost, do not assume. You've already been given a blip, some type of advanced knowledge of whatever this might be. Your soul is warning you. Now, don't just be so quick to cut someone off. You have to allow your soul to give you the confirmation, to give you the signs, okay? Don't make assumptions. Let your soul show you. Be very quiet in your observation. I observe people very silently. I do. Everyone that I interact with, everyone that I'm in proximity to, I observe very quietly. Observing is not the same as judging or condemning. I'm just from a neutral space watching them and their actions, listening to their words, allowing myself to be aware if their words and their actions align. Is it the same thing? Are their words simply a reiteration of their actions? Or is there some shady shit happening here? Because your soul is already telling you. With some more, okay, often what we think we know is only a small part of the bigger picture. With some more information, what we think is the truth can shift, sometimes dramatically, and reveal a completely different reality. Sometimes we really imagine a situation, person, or place to be all that we think or feel it is, only to find that it's not quite that way after all. There is an important situation in your life right now that is still unfolding, and you have yet to perceive it fully. It is safe for you to be patient and curious and trust what you feel is unfolding now. Don't rush to set things in motion. Whether it's rushing to set things in motion to make it happen or to avoid it, just slow down for a moment. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Don't be reactive. Don't decide things out of pure fear. Don't rush to set things in motion, to form a structure, or even to make things concrete until you've had a chance to be clearer about this situation or process. There will be a time in the near future when you will realize that the graceful cosmic dance of Kuan Yin has unfolded and a veil has been lifted. At that time, you will realize that you are seeing much more clearly and accurately than you have previously been able to do. Only then will an appropriate course of action or non-action will be clear to you. Trying to apply effort to create results before that time will not cause the unveiling dance to unfold more quickly. Be patient and trust. Kuan Yin's dance of divine grace will touch this part of your life and bring you clarity. Go into your heart and listen for the music of her dance. This oracle is also confirmation that something you have recently perceived or will soon perceive is accurate. This perception may have been something of a surprise, shock, or stretch for you, and perhaps you're not quite comfortable with its implications as yet, and so you are doubting the veracity of your vision. Be patient and allow yourself to get used to the new truths that are revealing themselves to you now. The dance of Kuan Yin's grace brings not only revelation, but also opportunity and resolution. Mm, but there's a deadline. I guess if you allow yourself to miss that deadline without making a decision, that's a decision in itself. No, that's a decision in itself. So if there's a deadline, then you need to make sure you take the time to really consider all the factors that need to be factored in. All of these different little details that seem insignificant, but in reality, once you allow yourself to zoom out just a little bit, so you can get a better sense with context what it is you're viewing, it'll make sense. And you'll be able to decide something and decide something in your benefit, right? It's okay to decide things that benefit you so long as you're not intentionally trying to screw other people over. That's not selfish, it's intelligent. It's intelligent to decide things that are healthier for you. What you believe you need needs to be factored in. That's not going to be the only factor, of course, but it needs to be factored in. It needs to be considered by you. We need to exit out of this space where we think that we are bad people if we factor in our needs and wants before everything else. You're still factoring everything else in. If you're going to factor in everything else, you can come to a very solid conclusion. Like, for example, I want to do something and I really, really want to do it. Maybe my husband doesn't want to do that thing. I don't know what it is. I want to garden. He doesn't like to garden. He doesn't. I want to garden, right? I want more plants. And he doesn't really want to. Does it hinder him? Well, when we have to move, yeah, because all my indoor plants fill up the largest U-Haul truck with just plants. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. There's a lot of plants and there's trees too. I have fruit trees inside my house. I have a fig tree right beside me in my office. But here's the thing. We're out of the store and I want more plants. And I tell him I want more plants. And he doesn't want more plants. And then he says to me, "Well, you never asked me to water the plants. You take care of them yourself. So I guess if you want to, right?" Does it harm him? Does it hurt him? No, he doesn't like it. I take that into consideration. But does it harm him and hurt him and inconvenience him and create a point of contention between us? No, unless it's time to move, at which point he's like, "You got hella fucking plants." So I have to take that into consideration, right? Decide things that bring happiness to you. Why is it important for me to be able to get more plants? Because I like to be surrounded by life. It's very healthy for me. Rather than become fixated on all of the really fucked up things that tend to occur because of the field of work that I'm in, there's a lot of really fucked up things, you guys. I'm not even going to sit here and complain about it. It's a known part of the work that I do. Rather than fixate on that, I tend to my plants. It's not about me avoiding because I'm fully aware. I am fully aware. So there were these marks, right? So if you look at my hand, there's all sorts of like triangles and stuff like that. All these triangles, all over all these triangles. And I came across this video and it's some like palmistry video. And the person is talking about like you have all these triangles. That typically means that you have been receiving the effects of witchcraft on you. And I'm like, what's new? What's new? What's new? I'm aware. I've been aware. As a matter of fact, while I was live right now, someone was trying their stupid ass poppet shit again. Did it work? No, it didn't. And then after watching that video, I'm also reminded a very good friend of mine years ago. She's a very good friend of mine then. Um, she asked to see my palms, at which point I showed her my palms, and she was in tears because see all these squares and they're deep lines. They're very, very deep. All of these squares, so many squares. I have them on both hands. Squares after squares after squares after squares. So this friend of mine, she's like, she became aware that demonic shit was trying to be done to me. And at the time, I was still trying to pretend I was normal. And she's like, "Girl, what the fuck? I gotta remove these things from you." And I was like, "Sure, go ahead." And then she removed it, and that's why she asked to look at my palms. The reason the topic came up, I had this rash on my neck. I called it my eczema rash. It went from the side of my neck to the side of my neck. The whole back part was a huge rash. And whenever I would be near something really fucking wicked, at the time I lived in Vegas, I would sense these things. I would sense wicked shit. My eczema on the back of my neck would ooze. It would start oozing. And I was like, oh, it would hurt and then it would ooze. And then, I remember my cousin came to visit me and she suffered with eczema her whole life. And she's in the medical field. And I was like, cousin, can you look at my neck? Is it like what type of fucking eczema is this? And I show it to her and she's totally not into the subject matter. And she goes, what the fuck is that? And I was like, isn't it eczema? She goes, that looks like a bite. You can see where the teeth hooks in, and then it's a circle where it's like something sucking life out of you. And I was like, "Shut up." She goes, "I'm serious. What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "It's eczema." She's like, "That's not eczema." That's when I asked my friend, like, "Hey, have you ever heard of yada yada yada?" We get on the topic. I show her the picture. She's like, "Holy shit, demons are fucking feeding off of you." And I was like, and then she removed it for me. That was the last time I tried to play normal. And then she asked to see my palms, and these made her cry. All these squares, all of these squares that I have made her cry. And I was like, "Is that a bad thing?" And you know what she shared with me? Hmm. Every square that is on my palms, they are prayers that my ancestors prayed and still continue to pray to shield me from true harm. And she's like, the fact that they're so deep, it told her that my ancestors have prayed for me for many, many lives, and they never stop praying for me. Just because there's negative stuff doesn't mean shit. Factor in everything that needs to be factored. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of triangles on my palm, but you see this triangle right here? Hold on. This one right here. It's a triangle right beneath my ring finger. I have it on both hands. It's right here. Triangle right beneath my ring finger, right? Both hands. Both hands have it. They have it very deep. You know what that triangle means? People who have that mark, it's been said, one of the potentialities within your lifetime is to become a billionaire. Not a millionaire, a billionaire. Ridiculous wealth. Factor all the details in. Allow yourself to be aware of the negative that some people are trying, but your life is not simply a negative. There's so much richness in the meaning of everything that's happening in your life right now, things that will happen, things that have happened. All of these things mean something. For those who chose number 2, put your needs first for once. Do you really need to experience that hardship again? But Amy, I can't hold against a new person something an old person did. Right. Except, did you factor in that maybe this new person is nothing but a continuation of the cycles with the old person? Because fuck that. I'm not willing to do none of that. I only need to go through something once to learn whether it's for me or not. I only got to go through it once. If something about you reminds me of someone that has done me so dirty, babe, I'm sure you're a good person, but I'm just not going to let you in my life. We're not going to be interacting, none of that. I'm sure you are a good person. I'm sure you're amazing and loving, but something about you reminds me of something that I don't want to go through again. And it might be a case of me behaving in the same way I did back then. And that behavior that I am repeating is going to encourage you to behave just like that person behaved back then. I'm good. I'm good. It's not even like you are bad for me. It's that your presence causes me to revert back to places I've already outgrown. So thank you, and be an amazing person somewhere else. For those who chose number 2, some shit's about to pop off in your life. You're about to recognize it for what it is if you pay attention. If you pay attention, no accusations. Pay attention and observe, okay? Don't start accusing people of anything. Pay attention and observe. You'll see exactly what the hell shady people are trying to do. Thinking you don't notice when you know damn well you're a people watcher. You watch them. You just don't want to believe what you see because your heart doesn't function that way. And you can't understand why someone would do what you know they are going to do because you would never do it. Babe, they don't have your heart. I would never screw someone over, whether I like them or not. Even if I completely dislike a person, I wouldn't screw them over because that's not how my heart is. I would just walk away. And I've had to learn over the years that I've been publicly visible. Not everyone is a mirror of my heart, integrity, and kindness. And that's okay. As long as I don't allow them in my life to behave in the way they're comfortable behaving. Put your needs first, people who chose to. Put your needs first. I gotta go. So I'll be live 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll see you guys. Quick reminder: Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop coming up on Saturday. I believe we're gonna close the box office tomorrow morning. I think, or tonight. I don't know. Once it's closed, it's closed. And then I'll be live tonight on Tiki Tack. Tiki Tiki Tack Tack. I'm going to be doing reading scans, etheric quantum medicine work, and all kind of different things. If you'd like me to work on you, click on the link or click on the QR code and then join me. 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when I'll be live. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Okay. Time to go. Bye, everyone. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And if I were you, keep this between us. I would keep refreshing my website because crystals are about to get popped on there. And some special stuff. If you catch what I'm saying, get out your catcher's glove. Some special stuff's about to get put on that website. I'm saying. If I were you, I would just keep refreshing because that's all I can say. I got a big mouth sometimes. That's all I can say. I wasn't even supposed to say any of that, but that's all I can say. Juicy ass crystals, I'm saying. Okay, bye everyone.